when you're talking about Jared Cannonier, a man who went from heavyweight to light heavyweight down to middleweight, a man who is 39 years of age, to talk about him taking out the young prospect, the grizzled veteran Marvin Vettori, however, who was only 29 years old, you would think would be the future of the middleweight division. He dominated him in a historic way. So it's a tough pill to swallow to know that you lost to Cannonier and now you're a step behind in terms of like the title picture. But it's another story to say I got absolutely dominated. And when I invited Jared Cannonier, I dare you to come wrestle me, I got wrestled up for majority of the round. So with that being said, man, how impressed are you with Jared Cannonier and how big of a setback is this for Marvin Vettori?
Massive for both of those, Derek. Massively impressed with Jared Cannonier. Dude showed up like the killer gorilla, man. Showed up how we've seen him perform in the past and took it to Marvin in his best options, too. Looked good on the feet, stopping the takedowns, like you said. Invited into the wrestling, didn't even have a beat of sweat on him, brother. Killer gorilla was looking far and above leaps and bounds where we've seen him in the past. And kind of also to that point, it seems like Marvin not necessarily underperformed, but didn't stick to his truest game plan. He was sitting there trying to trade shots. We were talking about it when the mics were cold. He felt the power, got excited, got the blood boiling. Yes, bro, I hurt this dude. I can finish him now. You fall in love with the hands and you get pieced up by somebody who is more technical, faster, better at the striking. And you decide to strike with him. It was an interesting call from the Marvin Vettori camp. Do you think he wants that one back, Derek? Do you think he wants this fight back to be on a whole different way?
I would assume so. Like, you would think that this is not the Marvin Vettori that you're accustomed to seeing. Honestly, this is not the Marvin Vettori that got him to where he is in the rankings currently. So that's what we see sometimes, though, right? Is that a fighter will have a tried and true game plan, especially coming from a grappling background, string together a couple of big shots. They, lean on that power. It's not like Vettori's knocking a bunch of dudes out. But you're right. You clipped Cannonier in the first minutes of the fight, and then you fall in love with the striking. You did beat Roman Dolidze in your last fight, split decision, but you did beat him primarily with just a striking effort. I think he needed to wrestle, but that's the thing. It's easier said than done trying to wrestle on Jared Cannonier, who will sprawl hard, hips heavy, and then rain down elbows on you, because a lot of the damage Cannonier did was in that half guard, got you on the ground, and just kind of raining down those blows on it. So I guess this is the question, man. Once again, Jared Cannonier decided to take the wrestling approach to Marvin Vettori. He says, honestly, is it worth it to break my hands on this dude's head who just won't go away? I'm landed 257 total strikes on this dude. 241 of them are significant. Let me just wrestle him up, mix it up, and prove myself to be arguably the biggest challenge to Israel Adesanya. I mean, that's the part that I want to talk about right here. What does this really mean? Because you got Dricus du Plessis, and then you kind of got Jared Cannonier and Robert Whittaker. Those are like the only guys right now who are relevant in that conversation. What does this mean, though?
Derek, I think it just causes more confusion and more stalls, to be honest with you. Having Jared Cannonier win this fight does amazing for him. Mm-hmm. But for the picture, for the belt, for all that stuff, it kind of throws a little bit of a wrench in the policy. I think everybody was hoping that Dricus du Plessis was going to be the one getting the scrap. I don't think Dricus wants that fight. He's not calling for it. I think he has something else lined up. I'm not exactly sure at the moment. And same thing, man, Robert Whittaker. Do we want to see, a fourth fight? Third fight? Yeah, I forget how many it is. And that's kind of to the point. Do we want to see another one of that series? Same with Cannonier. Do we want to see the second? I think Izzy is just so far and above. We're going to need a star-studded performance. Because, yes, was this a historic output by Jared Cannonier? Yes. But would it have been more impressive? He would have actually been able to put away the absolute brick of a head that Marvin Vettori has. That boy's taking shots, bro, left and right. That would have been more impressive, clamoring for more of a title opportunity. I don't really think there's much on this, Derek. Do you?
Well, let me just clear up the picture, right? Du Plessis and Whittaker are already booked to fight. So once the winner of that one is decided, then it's really Jared Cannonier. And I'm assuming Robert Whittaker wins that fight, right? So it's like Whittaker, Cannonier, do they need to fight again? I'm pretty sure they already fought too, right? So it's like, you're right. It's just a big cluster in the middleweight division right now, and it's tough to really put your thumb on what's the best direction to move forward from here. All we can say is Jared Cannonier, at 39 years old, being one of your prized possessions of a middleweight division as a promoter, you might not be the happiest about that. Because look at when Glover was champ, right? It's like, oh, we got this beast champion, but he's also over 40 years old. So it's like, you can't market for the long term. Either way, man, I think Marvin Vettori will definitely still be a staple in this division for years to come. It's just a matter of figuring out when it matters the most. Jared Cannonier, incredibly impressive victory. AJ, you got anything else on this one? Or are you ready to move on?
Nah, man, I was looking up. I'm excited. The one person I'm excited to see return is Chris Weidman. I don't remember which weight class he's jumping back into after the leg, but he's even calling for it. So there might be a little mix-up we see with that, but I don't know, that's just hoping and wishing, Derek.
Come on, bro. What are we talking about here? No, shout out to the OG former champion Chris Weidman, but I mean, once again, we want the old guys over here. That's our threats to the. I don't know, man. All right. With that being said, that was a fun main event.